itineraries. We got some input list here. From Farm Aid 1, all of the stage plots, all of the input lists for all of those bands. That was a interesting festival. And back in the 80s when we had 3 consoles, one would mix one band, the engineer would be on the other console setting up for his show, and there'd be a middle one that did announcements, and both of those consoles went into. So it was quite a bit of work to do that. Whereas today, you have a memory stick, you punch it in there, and your show comes out. So it's quite a bit different. The itineraries are your day-to-day, your hotels, your dates. Yeah, each day you got a show day. A party does this, which is the artist. B is the band, and C is the crew. And so we might be staying in different places. This is the venue. This is the promoter. After show, where we're all, what we all do. So you got this for every day. This right here represents, well, this is South America 2012. These are all tours. They could be for a short one for a few weeks, or they could be the better part of a year. Usually it's broken up if you're doing a year, and that you'll have one for the US leg, one for Asia if you do that, one for Australia, New Zealand is one you would have. Europe would be a different one. So they went from being this big for an itinerary back in the 80s to making life a whole lot easier with a more travel-friendly itinerary today. Old Stevie Ray Vaughan, I did his last tour. REM, I did 3 tours with them. They were great to tour with. Santana, if you saw Santana in the 90s, I mixed him, pretty much. Counting Crows, I've done them mostly since 2000. Add in 3 tours with Joe Cocker, a tour with Pink, and a little bit of stuff with Huey Lewis. And this is an interesting poster where we played the Pro Bowl in Hawaii, and Deion Sanders was the opening act, which was basically a track of music for him to rap to, and he had the all-star cheerleaders or whatever, but he ran us off the stage so he could do his sound check with his dancers or whatever during the day. This is a great one, Grateful Dead in Las Vegas with Santana in the Silver Bowl. And Grateful Dead's engineer brought in a slot machine at front of house so he could put a mic on it and cue it at any time and make it ding, 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 ding. Bob Dylan tour with Santana, that was interesting as well. And here's a Grateful Dead Santana with David Lindley at a biker festival. Wonderful show. This is Telluride Blues Festival. They've been doing that for a while. That is a wonderful concert and scenic, beautiful settings you could have. That was a wonderful show. I really enjoyed that. We also have over here Laminates with the Highwaymen. That was a great tour. The Clash, Rick James, Deep Purple, Quiet Riot, Aerosmith, The Kinks, David Bowie. Wonderful tours. A lot of Counting Crows, a lot of Santana. There's Robert Palmer. We did 59 shows in a row to do the first leg. The Police and Sting and stuff, we played with them. I didn't actually mix them, but the other ones I did. There's Stevie Ray Vaughan, who's Ted Nugent with Monsters of Rock. I filled in for a friend on the last half of that tour, and it was during the last of the 90s, and it made Carlos mad because he didn't think I should work for Ted Nugent. Here's the Kinks. That was one of the first tours I did with Shoko. Joe Cocker Fired Up tour. That was one of the best tours ever. Everybody on that tour agreed that that was a wonderful tour. And we even did a live video from Cologne, so there's proof. This is a New Year's Eve show with Al Green, Buddy Guy, and Santana in San Francisco and the Oakland Coliseum. Santana, Buddy Guy, Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Wonderful show. You got the Highwaymen, a couple of Highwaymans over here. Awfully proud and awfully fortunate to have the opportunity to work with those guys. Tour in 2010 with Joe Cocker opening for Tom Petty. Wonderful tour. This is actually from Joe's dressing room from the last show. After when we were finishing up, I grabbed this off of Joe's dressing room and framed it because it was such a fun tour and good music all night long. Over here we have the Carlos Santana Wayne Shorter tour we did in Europe of all jazz festivals. And working with Wayne was really special. I loved working with that guy. And we shared a lot of books. We did a lot of reading on that tour. All right, this was a tour we did of minor league ballparks. And it was with Live and Collective Soul, Counting Crows. And I would set up around home plate, and they would set up just past second base where the grandstand was set up to watch the band. That was a fun little tour, and I've got a baseball glove I can show you, and that baseball they signed. This is from B.B. King when we played with him. And this was a special tour. Joe Cocker with Dave Mason, and they've autographed it. I got a couple of those signed for Debbie Ramsey for the benefit. And it was my pleasure to mix Feeling All Right with Dave Mason sitting in with Carlos's band every night. What still makes the hair stand up on my arm. There's a couple of Joe Cocker autographs. Wonderful, lovely man to work with. This is from Carlos Supernatural. That's 13 times platinum. It ended up going about 30. So that was towards the end of when I was working with him. All right, so we've got Jeff Beck. That was when he toured with Santana. I got him to sign that for me. He asked me to work with him in the future, and it never did work out, but I would have loved to work with him. He was lovely. I like Jeff Beck. He was a lot of fun. When we played San Francisco, he's a car builder, and he built roadsters and stuff, and he lined up, maybe 10 of his collection backstage at Shoreline. And it was hard to get anybody to work that day. Everybody was back there checking out his cars all day. This is Stevie Ray Vaughan. That's In Step. That's the last tour. It was his last tour. And we went to see Eric Clapton. And he sat in with Eric Clapton. And that's where Clapton asked him to do that last benefit show with the helicopter crash, unfortunately. So I wasn't there for that show. I was already on to somebody else, doing something else. Mary Jane Girls, I did them with Rick James, and ended up doing a little tour with them. Patti Smythe, she was in Scandal and opened for the Kinks, and we became good friends, and I mixed her next 3 tours. That's Rolling Stones and Counting Crows when we opened for them. They would always take a picture with the opening act. That was fun. This is when Bill Graham passed, and we did a festival. He died in a helicopter crash as well. And we did a festival in Golden Gate Park. And Robin Williams was the MC. Yeah, Journey, Tracy Chapman, Neil Young, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Grateful Dead, John Fogerty, Joan Baez, Chris Christopherson, Santana, was who I mixed, Bobby McFerrin, let's see, Aaron Neville. Anyway, it was just a great day of music and love, and I got to meet Robin Williams. He was wonderful. These are, well, 3 of them are from REM, and Green and Document, and then Scandal gave me a gold record as well. So that was back when they used to give gold records many years ago. One other thing you should see is this, and I pointed this out to you the other day. This is when we finished Robert Palmer's, the first leg of the tour, was at the Apollo in New York. And all the dates are on there. And we did 56 shows in a row in different cities. So we did a show, tore down, got on the bus, went to another city, set up, did a show, tore down, went to another city. 56 in a row from the first leg. It's crazy. Great band. Amazing amount of live shows that I've done. And I want to get them back to the artist because I'm concerned about copyrights and things like that, about what, I don't want to upset anybody, but I would like to keep just some of the music for myself that were just really memorable, wonderful shows. I've also got all these tour jackets I need to figure out what to do with. It's from Aerosmith. I took over for Night Bob on this one. He did the first part, and then he had to go on to another gig, and I did the last part. But that was a lot of fun. Some crazy stuff going on there. Speaking of crazy, this was Rick James, Cold Blooded, sold out arena tour. It was several bands a night, and we were late every night and got into overtime, and it was pretty crazy. This jacket, it's just a rain jacket from the promoter at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. We did 4 sold out shows at the Spectrum, and we shot a video of Modern Love there, which ended up getting the VMA award that year for it. But if you look very closely, I'm one of the extra sax players. I don't play sax, but they wanted to make the horn section bigger, so I'm dancing around with the horn players, and I'm an extra in that one. There's REM. Let's see. That's a nice jacket. Oh, here's a nice jacket. Santana. I always like that jacket. That's wonderful logo. He really goes all out on his logos and things. And see, that was from a Stones tour we did, or we were opening on. Oh yeah, this one. David Bowie, Serious Moonlight. That was. You see it? Yeah. Here we have some fun posters. These are Counting Crow and the Wallflowers. I brought Julie out for that one. Willie Pink signed this one to me. God, You Sound Good. I love that one. The Who and Counting Crows. We did a lot of opening act stuff, and I did a lot of mixing on stage for those shows. It was a kind of a trick we did where I would have my system engineer who was like with the sound company and who understood what it sounded like at that point. He would go out front and I would mix on in-ears that blocked everything out, and I would mix from the stage, and he would let me know where the kick drum sat, for instance, and where the vocal sat, and say up 2 dB on the kick drum or down on the vocal a little bit, depending on the PA we were using. And once I found out where it sat in the mix, I would mix the rest of the show with that in mind. And that, it worked. Management, their peers, the people that went out front and listened to it, they all agreed it worked. So I was able to pull that off for a while.